Welcome to the Lemelson Center's podcast series on invention and innovation. I'm Laurel Fritsch, and on this podcast, Robin Logan and Cindy Whitehead will tell us about their lives pioneering female skateboarding. They were recorded at the joint Lemelson Center and iAsk event, Innoskate, held June 2013 at the Smithsonian National Museum of American History in Washington, D.C.
My name is Cindy Whitehead, and some of the items that I donated to the Smithsonian are my Molly padded shorts, my Sims team jersey, a skate wrench that I used to use back in the day, skate cards, which were from various skate parks around the country that I used to skateboard at, team cards. You had to have one to get into the park. Probably the newest item is the Girl Is Not a Four-Letter Word prototype skateboard and all of its original artwork that I designed that made that board. It's a collab I did with Jesters, California for Dwindle Incorporated. And also my Puma skate tennis shoes. Puma tennis shoes was a little interesting because Puma was not involved in skateboarding back in the day. Okay. They were a shoe company that was just out there like anybody else. And I went to them and approached them and said, hey, could you sponsor me as a skateboarder? Here's what I do. Here's some pictures. This is what I'm about. These are the contests I have coming up. Would you be interested in sponsoring me? Because a lot of skaters were with Vans, and people were wearing Nike, but nobody was really wearing Puma. And I had tried them, and I felt that the sole was grippy enough for me. I liked the comfort level. I liked the high top feeling. So I was 16 years old, maybe 16 and a half, and went and approached them and asked them if they would do this for me, and they agreed. So I kind of was able to take a manufacturing company, if you will, that was not skateboard related and help them bring them into skateboarding by a need that I had, really.
So what other things do you feel like you've really contributed to the sport of skateboarding?
I think that some of the things that I helped contribute in skating were being one of those women who were part of a group that continued to skate vert. And by all of us continuing, whether we had to compete against boys or not, we were able to show contest organizers that there was a need, and then they created more women's divisions, and we had a little group of girls that was really core and good, and we helped change skateboarding in that way, that it wasn't just a male-dominated sport, and I think that's something important.
Absolutely. Well, what's one of your most memorable skateboarding moments?
I would say one of my most memorable skateboarding moments was when I went on the skateboard tour that a man named Ted Coombs created for me. Back in the day, girls didn't get a ton of opportunities to do things like this, and I had this man, Ted, really believe in what I was doing and being a female skateboarder, and come to me and say, I'm going to put together some sponsors, and I want to send you to these big skate parks, Cherry Hill and Apple, in Ohio and New Jersey, and then go to Florida. And I want you to check them out and skate them and to show people out there that there are girls skating. And I want to pair you with a male roller skater so that it's kind of a gender different idea. Like the girls should be roller skating, the guys should be skateboarding in people's minds. We're going to pair you with a male roller skater. You guys are going to go out there and you're going to show people that you can do anything you want to do, and it's not a gender thing. So basically, I got sent to Cherry Hill and Apple and all different places in Florida and did the skate tour and had a blast. It was amazing, and that's probably one of my most favorite things that I did in skateboarding.
Wow. And so how old were you when you participated in this?
I was 17, and I was told that if I left high school to do this for 3 weeks, that I wouldn't be allowed back in.
Wow.
That it wasn't an excused absence, and my mom was a teacher. So the high school, my guidance counselor created a way for me to have correspondence courses, which there was no such thing as homeschooling back then. He found a way to create correspondence courses for me so that I wouldn't return for the rest of the school year, but could continue skating and just come in when I had a chance to finish my tests and courses and meet with a teacher or a counselor. And so that's how I completed my junior year of high school.
Wow. You took a bit of a risk then in choosing to do that, but it sounds like it worked out really well.
I think it did. I'm pretty happy with my decision, and I'm just happy that my parents went along with it, and that I was, had so many wonderful people who supported me, believed in what I was doing, and took that risk with me, because that's a hard thing to do as a parent.
Definitely. So you've been involved in skateboarding then for a long time. So what does skateboarding really represent and mean to you?
I would say what skateboarding means to me is kind of the same things it did back then. It's about learning respect. You learn that very fast when you're out there with a group of skaters. You earn respect, you give respect, and that's something that continues throughout your life. I feel it's a very core thing to have and to know, and it's a good thing. I also think family. I think of all these skaters out there that I've met over the years and that I still do know, and the ones I'm just meeting now. We're all part of this big, huge family. And no matter where you go in the world, those people, are there. They'll welcome you with open arms. Skaters are just family for life, and that's a pretty cool thing.
Yeah. What do you think is the role of skateboarding within American culture?
Well, I think the role of skateboarding in American culture is it exemplifies like independence, self-expression, kind of born, in my opinion, on the streets of California. It's that carefree 70's lifestyle that almost everyone craves. And it's also got a little bit of rebelliousness to it, which I think is interesting to most people, as skaters are not always following the pack or maybe even the rules. And so people like that. People like that little bit of rebellious attitude that they think they see in skateboarding.
What projects are you working on now, or what projects do you have coming up?
Right now, I'm working on the Girl Is Not a Four-Letter Word skateboard that I did as a collaboration with Dusters California and Dwindle Incorporated. We just launched at the Vans Warped Tour, and it's being sold in stores across the U.S. and abroad. We're really working on getting the message out there that this is a board. It's a cruiser for girls. It's 28.5 inches long. It's lighter. It's more responsive in turning time. A girl is usually, when you're growing up, a little bit lighter than an adult man, obviously.
Right.
So you don't need trucks that are super, super tight and don't turn easily. You want something with your lighter weight body that responds easily, and this board does that. And it's shorter, kind of like the boards I used to ride back in the day, but it rides like a full-blown cruiser. It's kind of cool. So I'm working on that, getting that out there and making sure people can buy it when they want it, and it's available. And I'm also working on a T-shirt line that I've developed for girls that are made on like eco-jersey material, really soft fit and function, and kind of had a fashion element to them. And they say things like pretty radical or girl is not a four-letter word. So those are the two things I'm working on a lot right now.
Okay. In general, what do you think might be some of the next big innovations regarding skateboarding fashion?
Well, I think regarding skateboarding fashion, what I'm hoping to see, and what I keep talking to other girls about, and what we're all craving and needing, is a shoe that is built on a woman's last. Meaning, instead of the shoe being built on a men's last, which is basically a mold of a man's footbed, being built on a women's last. Women's feet are different than men's. Women's needs are different than men's. We tend to get a lot of shoes in different sports that are built on a men's last, and then we have a pretty color thrown in, so it looks like a girl's shoe. But when you go to other sports that are really core, like running, the shoe is built on a woman's last, so it fits and performs for a woman. Woman's foot might be a little narrower, the arch is in a different place, different height. It's really made for a woman. And I think in skateboarding, all of the girls are needing and craving something like this. So I'm hoping maybe that's what I'll see next in skateboard innovation for fashion and footwear.
So do you think that that might have been one of the things about Puma that you enjoyed, was that it fit your foot a little bit better?
It did, but to be honest with you, back then, that shoe was still made for a guy.
Okay.
So I was adapting to that shoe a bit more than the shoe was adapting to me. But I was very young, so, my feet weren't fully formed, and you didn't know back then, they weren't really developing shoes based on women and men as much as they are now. We have so much more technology available now that I think what we can do with this sort of thing is amazing, and I'd love to see where it goes.
Okay. Well, is there anything else that you would like people to know about you or what you've done as a skateboarder?
I would just like people to know that I'm very behind all the girls that are out there now. I think it's very important that the girls have a voice and be seen and be heard. They're doing great things. They're progressing at such a rapid pace. It's amazing what they can do if they have the support behind them. So that's kind of my focus in skateboarding right now, is to just be there and help promote the girls any way I can.
Sounds like you've done that pretty much your whole life, so I think you're the perfect person to continue to push that forward.
Thank you. That's a really big compliment. I appreciate it.
Well, that concludes this podcast. If you have any questions about it, you can get in touch with us by email at lemsen@si.edu, on Facebook at facebook.com/Lemelson Center, and on Twitter. Please join us for our next podcast. And in the meantime, keep up with us on our website, where you'll find blogs, video podcasts, and more. Thanks for listening.